Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here once again. Now, a couple of days ago I did a tutorial for Bruce's No Surrender from his album Born in the USA, and I had a couple of requests to do a tutorial for Adam Raised a Cain from Darkness on the Edge of Town. And I thought, well, that's a good idea, so I sat down and I learned it, and here we are. Now, this track is one of the more aggressive and heaviest tracks of Springsteen's career, and he had this to say about its inclusion on 1978's somewhat more subdued Darkness on the Edge of Town album. Think of this album as if it were a movie, and the scene is a young couple having a lovely picnic in a field. Then the camera pans away to a dead body just off screen. This song is that dead body of the album. I thought that was a great metaphor, as it's a pretty jarring and angry song. And with that said, let's close in, learn how to play it, shall we? All right then, Adam Raised a Cain and Bruce Springsteen from Darkness on the Edge of Town. We are in standard tuning for this tutorial. This one starts like this. That's kind of the main riff to this one and what we're going to be playing during the verses as well. Starting with an E power chord here, bum, bum, and then you're going to drop onto the 3rd fret of the low E and then into an A power chord and repeat that 3 times. Bum, 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 and then you're going to reverse it. The 4th time, right? During the 4th bar, you're going to go A to G to the E power chord. Right? And you repeat that whole riff progression twice at the beginning of this track. Now, over top of that is a short intro guitar solo, and it's going to be 4 bars of tremolo picking this E note here at the 9th fret of the G string. That goes on for 4 bars, right? And then we drop into this. So we're sliding into 14 of the D, 12 onto 14 of the G into a slow bend. Right, and you're going to choke that off at the top. And you're going to kind of repeat it. However, the second time you're going to release that bend quickly off to 12 and then grab the 14 of the D. Right into a full step bend with some nice vibrato on it here on the 15 of the B string, right? And then we're going to kind of rake into a double stop here on the 10s of the B and the high E, right? Then you're going to catch the top 2 strings on the upstroke and then finish the solo with that. 2nd fret of the G, little bend release off to open. Grab the 2nd fret of the D, pull it off to open, drop back onto that 2nd fret. So that's the intro solo. 4 bars of that, right? Dropping into this. And then we drop into the 1st verse, which is the main riff, but quieter. Bum, 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 bum. Reverse and repeat. Then we drop into the pre-chorus. We're going to drop into an A minor chord, arpeggiate all the notes out of this, skipping the B string on the way down, catching it on the way back up again. Then we're going to drop into C, do the exact same thing. Back to A minor, back to C, back to A minor. Then we're going to drop into B7. So B7 is 2nd fret of the A string, 1st fret of the D, 2nd fret of the G string, 2nd fret of the high E. And this one you arpeggiate the notes down, skipping the B string, but catching the top 2 strings on the upstroke. And letting them ring, right? And then we drop into the chorus. repeating that 4 times. 3rd fret of the low E, little downwards tug, or actually a little waggle actually, off to open. Then you're going to catch the top 2 strings on the upstroke. Little bend of that 2 of the G off to open, grabbing the 2 of the D, right? And repeat 4 times. Into the next verse. Same as the other verses. Bum, 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 bum. Into the pre-chorus. A minor, C, A minor, C, A minor, B7, into the chorus. Right, repeat that again 4 times. And then we drop into the main guitar solo to this one. So the main guitar solo to this one starts the same way as the intro solo, tremolo picking this 9 of the G, but now we have the octave here on the 12 of the high E as well, muting the B string in between. Tremolo picking that for 4 bars. Right, very loose and sloppy, you know, just making a whole bunch of noise on those 2 notes, right? And after you repeat that for 4 bars, we drop into this. We're repeating that for 3 bars on each beat, so you're repeating this 12 times. You got your pinky here on the 15 of the B string, bending the 14 of the G 12 times. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 4th bar finishes with that. Just a little bend of that 14 off to 12. And then a little pull off from 14 of the D off to 12 back onto 14. Right? And then we're into this little repeating lick. So we're sliding into 14 of the D, 12, 14 of the G into a bend. Right, and choking it off at the top. Then you're going to repeat it an octave higher on the B and the high E string on the 15s and 17s, sliding into 17, right, and repeating. And then you're going to repeat this one more time. However, this time you're going to hold that bend and then grab a double stop on the 12s. And then pre-bend release that 14 into this. Another little bend release of that 14 off to 12, and then another pull off from 14 off to 12 back to 14 to the D, right? And we finish the solo with this. So we're starting this little section here with the top 2 strings on the upstroke. Then you're going to grab the 3 of the B, slide it into 5. Back to the 3, onto the 4 of the G, slide it back to 2. And then off to open, right? Back onto the 3, back into 5. You're basically repeating it again without the top 2 strings on the upstroke to kickstart it, right? The first time you catch those. And then we finish with this. So, 2nd fret of the D, double hits of the open G, grab the 2, slide it into 4, then grab the 3 of the B, right into a bend on the 5 of the high E off to 3, grabbing the 5 of the B. Kind of like that. And then you're going to catch the top 2 strings on the upstroke again, and then a little bend release of that 2 of the G off to open, finishing on the 2 of the D. And that's the solo. So let's take from the top, let's recap that, starting with those 4 bars of those octaves, right? Dropping into these 12 times, right? The final bar, finish with that, the repeating lick, top 2 strings. And that's the end of the solo there. So after you drop onto that 2 there, after a beat or 2, you're going to catch the top 2 strings on the upstroke, let it ring for a bar, then you're going to do it again, and then it's going to get really noisy for 2 bars. You're just going to tremolo pick the top 2 strings, right? Cymbals are crashing and whatnot, right? And that goes on for 2 bars before dropping into the 3rd verse. Same as the other verses, right? Bum, bum, bum. And then you're going to repeat that again, right? And then we're going to drop back into that A minor, off to C, right? And then off to the B7, right? Same as before. Back into another chorus. Now, at this point, after you repeat that 4 times during the final chorus, we're going to drop back into the A to C once. Back into the chorus again, right? And you're just going to repeat that until fade out, another 12 to 16 times or something like that. And that, my friends, is how you play Adam Raised a Cain by Bruce Springsteen. Certainly hope you enjoyed that, found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button right down there. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind. Hope you're well out there, and we'll see you next time, yeah? Cheers.